to the chaos.
Welcome back to RabidKaos and Alchemy Factory episode 8. Last episode we got the coke powder production running. And as you can see, that is backed up. Our fertilizer, which we got the episode before, that is backed up. It's kind of hard to see there, but it's barely moving. Same thing with the coke powder. So all these are full, the coke powder's full, everything has been running great. I have left things running, had things run for a little bit while I was away, or while between episodes I should say. I've taken the extra wood from there, moved it into here, and made it so that there should be a full belt of wooden pulleys coming through. Now we don't have that full belt because we don't have a full belt of rope coming through just yet for all of these. But for the time being, this is more than enough. Now, the one thing we ran into was we weren't making enough nails, so since the iron smelter puts out 10 a minute and the processors take 5 a minute, and we've already got, you know, almost over 600 iron, figured we'll make it so that each one of these that takes 5, that's a total of 10. Those 10 iron ingots that this is making should be automatically going in here, filling that up. So we'll get a half a belt of nails for right now. Now, our next goal for today is going to be steel. And steel is a tricky one because it is made in this machine called an Athanor, right? So we use Athanor, we set it for steel. Now, if you look here, it takes coke powder, which that should be easy. We can just run it from our fuel line, split it off so that only coke powder comes through. And iron ingots takes a quarter belt. But quarter of the time it gives you steel, the other 75% of the time it gives you iron, and it tells you how much comes about per minute. So if we do a full belt of iron to go into this and a full belt of coke powder, well, we're going to be burning up everything we've got for as far as coke powder. So maybe we need to add in a second one. But beyond that, we'll end up with extra iron coming out. Now we can loop it back through so it doesn't use up as much iron. But I've got a different plan in mind to try and make sure that for these, that's only 14.4 a minute. That's nothing. So I do have a plan to kind of make that a little bit more. The other thing is, yes, we need steel for building, but we also need steel gears for building and to sell. And that is made in a processor. So, look at this. This is steel gears. Takes it 3.8, puts out 3.8. This does 3.8. We don't want everything going to steel gears, but we don't want everything going to just steel, so I'll end up doing half of the steel going to steel gears, half of it going to just steel to be stored. And when that storage fills up, then the rest will go to all steel gears. So we're going to get rid of all this. Now, we know if we're running a full belt of coke powder, this isn't going to work. So, what we need to do is copy this setup here, which we can't quite do. So, we're going to have to redo a little bit. Now, we'll come back to get that part of it here soon. We're going to grab this stone production building here, like we did before. That should give me everything. Yep. Let's confirm that. We are short 30 nails. Alright. Well, we know we can always bring that back, and it's always going to be nails. Alright. Now we're going to be good on nails for a little while. Bring that back. There we go. We want to leave space for a purchasing portal, which we'll do right there. We'll get ourselves the purchasing portal to get stone. There we go. not stone. We don't want stone. We want coal ore, which is going to be rough. We'll get 3 going in there for now. Now we'll go back. We'll get the heating portion of it. I don't want to go that way. There we go. We'll confirm that. Bring it over here. Now here's a cool little thing I could do. No, because that's just gonna make things complicated there. Alright, we will, right along here, send this down. Send this down. And we will have to bring it down from there. Now, obviously we need to get this stuff out. And remember, it is double. Everything that comes out of here needs to get doubled. Because this makes 10 a minute, that's 60 a minute, that's a full belt. Now what I need to do, I believe, is throw some grinders along here. That should give me, hold on a second, let's see. Let's do this one. 1, 2, 3, yeah. This is going to be the 12 that we need. But that just means we got to run this belt further down. And that's not a problem. Now, each one of these takes 5, does 5, it's still 60 a minute. What I'm going to do is send it all to there. Alright. So we got our coke powder that we're going to need for making our steel in the ethanol, right? So, we know we need furnaces for this. What I'm going to do, let me bring everything down a little bit. And bring it down right here, which will be the first one. We'll do that. Now 9 is going to come. Oh no, I want it to go there. Perfect. Alright, now what I need is you. It does get a little tricky doing this. Now we know they take up 2 squares. That's a total of 6. That's a total of 3 different athanors I can build in there. But I need more than 3 in the long run. So let's fill this up for now, and I will explain to you how I plan on doing this. Oh, you know what? This isn't even what I want yet. Let me close that off yet for now. I will be using this later. But seeing that makes me realize I'm almost out of stone. Close it, get rid of that, and get rid of that, and that. I am missing a crucial step of this. Let me get the stone to be able to show you what I'm missing. We got our 1 belt of coke powder. We're missing a whole belt of iron. So, when we look at the iron at the, there it is, at the iron smelter, it makes 10 a minute. That means we can have 6 of those running to be able to produce the right amount of iron. Now, we also need to make sure that we have space to buy the iron on a regular basis. So, this is where things get a little tricky. There's 6 individual furnaces, and I have run the run space down the middle for all this. We are going to continue it on because we will need it for other pieces in the future. I'm not going to send anything down there yet. Now, here's where things get a little fun. Alright, iron smelter, the input and the output's the same. 2, 3, on the same side, I should say. Output's lower than the input. So, we need to get a little tricky with this. Not really tricky, but inventive. I can't get where I want to be, so we'll try this way. There we go. This is going to be a belt. Going out that way. So that's going to transport all of our iron. Now we need to send an input down this way. The good thing is we don't need to run it all the way. And then we run that to there. And our belt will come in from there. Alright. Now, what we need to do is build up something that will hold our purchasing portal. And as much as I hate it, I'm going to actually get rid of those because they're not doing me any good right now. This should be enough. Now we gotta get a little tricky when it comes to how I'm going to... Oh, it's not enough. There we go. Why is it not enough? Because I don't have a portal. That would be helpful. Let me see. Yep, our money is making a pretty good loop. It looks pretty full. Let me check real quick. I've had to add in another belt just to get it through, and we are filling up fast. Oh my. This is going at 2 silver per. But I think we leave that for now. When it completely backs up, then I'll deal with it. Alright. Try this again. Buy an iron. Alright. Now, we're gonna need to get the coke powder down. That was never gonna be avoided. The money's gonna come up to here. I was gonna run into a whole nother lift right here, but I could just do this and do that. There we go. So now, these furnaces should get lit, and once enough money goes into there, we should see we should see iron coming out. I thought that was it at first, but it doesn't get a whole lot. Obviously, I mean, it's every other one is 50, so it's gonna take a minute. I actually think I'm gonna help it along. There's 6 of them, so they won't eat. Yeah, see, they'll split off into the first couple, but it's good enough for now. Alright. Now here's when things get tricky. That was the easy part. So, I'm going to cut this, place this. Let me try and get it centered, just for appearance sake. There we go. That makes it look nice. A little bit nicer. Put a... Am I on my one? Yep. Alright. We'll put a lab stand there, and we will split this evenly between the two. But we know we're going to go further. Alright, so now let's get into the Athenor part of it. Right here. And you know, as I set this up, no, I should be able to do it with this amount of room. 2, 3, 4. Alright, so there's our 4. we know that the iron's gonna come out at, oh, end of the day. Let's see how much money we made. $49 silver profit. That's not bad. Now, we'll take this coke powder down this way, which should have let run the way it was, but, you know, mistakes were made. We'll need one there, we need one there. No, we need them all the way across. How do I want to do this? I'm going to actually get rid of this. We're going to run the iron this way. And then all I gotta do is just copy this over to each one. And this is where things are gonna get a little tricky because the coke powder is gonna be needed for everything. And I did not plan for that. So we've got a full belt of coke powder that goes to these four. Right? So that's it. That's all we needed this whole coke powder setup for, was those four. Now it gets a little trickier. Now we need 3. 1, 2. You can do this. Bring that forward. Bring that forward. Bring that forward. And that's definitely not going to be enough room, so let's try that again. Actually, I could have done it still facing the same way I was. Let's do that, and let's do that. You know what? Even better. Let's put boxes in front, so we have room to get everything out. And now, we can run this down to here. We will need one more, so we'll go with that. Alright, we got 33 Athenors here. We'll actually need quite a few more. So, we know the good item comes out of the gold. The waste item, which is the iron, comes out of the blue. We're going to place that onto every single one. Alright, so we want to get the steel out while keeping the iron in. On the system, I should say. So we'll bring the steel out to here. Yep. And we'll work on our plan with that next. Now this iron, I think we're going to join everything together and then have it come down all at once. Oh, I need rope. That should be fairly easy. That's been building up for a long time. Well, I'm gonna run one here and keep doing that. I'll get it right one of these times. There we go. So that's going to go in there. Now, the one thing I should have done beforehand was run belt for the coal. But easy enough. Copy this whole thing. The only reason why I'm willing to spend this much on this stuff is because of how much we are making. We'll confirm that build. Place it nowhere because I need to get a portal again. So with the amount of money we're making, which now seems to have dropped. Let's see what we got here first while we're here. Urgent request. We can't do it. But that's also why we want steel gears. Yeah, everything is just backed up ridiculously far. So I think this is time. No, not quite yet. It's getting close. But, you know, we know the coal, the iron, it's going to take a while to fill up. This first one, still not filled up, but it's getting there. And we're just about to put another one in. Turn that, turn that, turn that. There we go. There we go. Gonna change how this flows. There we go. Put another couple of bins over here. And I'm gonna put in some blocks along the way just to fill it in. So it looks a little bit better. Now we will get this running this way. Why is it going into there? There we go. That was weird. I don't know if you could see it, there was a little arrow acting like it was trying to turn back into the... No, no. What in the world is going on here? Not that one. Not that one. That one. There we go. Alright. Finally got it figured out. I was saying earlier I should have put that down first, but now we know. Well, shoot. This just doesn't reach. Alright, so that gives us all of that. That will give us all of that. And here's the thing. We need another 2. Because each one of these comes out 11.2 a minute. That's a total of 33.6. That's enough for 2. Now the one thing I didn't remember to do with these back here. Alright, we're doing 11.6 times 4 is 44.8. Just short of having enough for a full 3 of these. Right? So we don't add anything to this. This is just going to run as it is. It may run at a deficit. That 0.2 is going to be a minor deficit. Now these are 33.6. We can only make 30. Bring 30 into there. So that means we're going to have 3.6 left over. So I'm going to have to get a little creative with how I'm going to run the iron through here. Right? So we know the steel's got to come out. We may have to actually pull this back a little bit. If I press the right button. T to cut it away. And we want the steel to be able to go out. We'll take these for the iron again. So iron, iron, iron. these. One. No, that's one. Two. Now, we got steel coming out. That's gonna be our steel, right? Obviously, it's not gonna get there yet. We're just starting to get some coal coke, so it may happen soon enough. All right, now we gotta move these back into place. This is not gonna be the neatest build, but this is gonna get to be as close to full belt as I can get it, while also looking kind of the coolest. So, get one more of these. Give it all the room we need. Just enough nails to finish that. I don't believe we need as much room as we've been giving ourselves. Alright, and that should give us that. We'll grab the iron from coming from out of there. Uh-oh, we may not be right on this. Now, here's where we run into problems again, right? So, with this one we got 22.4, which is 7.4 more than that. So here's what we're going to do with iron. We're going to do the same thing over here, right? Once I get some more nails. And this will also help alleviate that problem a little bit. Nails are always going to be something you have to worry about, but this will help a little bit. So, what we're going to start using is the priority splitter. So, priority is always going to be yellow. The thing you want done is going to always be yellow. So, we need iron to come out here. So let's go ahead and run that belt before we do this. And then the extra iron is going to come out here. And just simply come down. Now what we're going to do, we know we've got 33.2, that's leaving us 3.2 a minute extra. So, we're going to take this, throw it on there, make this produce nails. So we're not even getting the full 15 a minute, but that little bit may make a difference. Alright, now we got to get this iron down here. So we'll do the normal, that's the wrong one. Do the normal. Send the iron down, send the iron down. We're going to also have to get some coke powder in there. Now this bit of coke powder right here is not going to fill everything the way it's supposed to. We're actually running a little slow and I'm not sure why. That is odd. We're one off, but that's okay. Now to get this, well, we're going to run into a bit of a tricky situation here. I'll send it over here. I will get it right one of these times. Now here we just want blocks, because we don't want to waste the nails. Got plenty of wood. Now we're going to need to get a bridge going. Since it's already faced this way, we'll turn this one this way first. And then swap it. I will have to give credit. I was able to figure this out because of another YouTuber, GrimSimLabs. He just challenged someone to see if they could figure out the best way to get a full belt of steel. Now this isn't a full belt of steel, but it brought to my mind, why are we wasting stuff? We're wasting possibilities. We have all this iron coming through. Why not get it as much out of it as we can? Ooh, that was a big loss, but we're buying a lot of coal to get things started. Alright, so we got our steel coming out on every single one. Now again, the coal coke is not going to come through that great at these ends. But it was never meant to, right? So, now the cool thing about this is I can now take one of those, I suppose I could do that with the other side too, just to ooh, but no, we need to make sure that we only got coke going through there. Is that from the... That's coming through from where? Oh, it comes down through there. Okay. So, let me cut this off real quick. We are going to do a priority, or a filter splitter. Turn that around. Yellow's on top. We don't want yellow on... Oh, we could do yellow on top. And just filter it so that way charcoal powder goes through the top, not the bottom. So now, if for whatever reason any charcoal powder happens to get on the belt, it should not affect this whatsoever. You, however, are causing problems because you don't have the coal coming in. We'll throw 7, 8, 9 in there. That should help. Now, the steel, right? We already know half of it's going to be going to go to steel gears. So, we've got 4 groups coming out at 3.8 a minute. We know that each one takes 3.8 a minute, so we need enough room for 4. So we got 1 there, 2, 3. We don't have enough for 4. Unfortunate. So how do I want to do this? I'm thinking we just put in... You know what? Let's bring it all together. Because we already decided that if that steel fills up, we're going to send it into the ingots anyway. And we're going to use a filter for that as well. Do that we know is going into storage, so let's bring that to there. We will do that, bring the whole belt across like this. Now we need to make sure everything goes to here. Now we need to get a box going because we want some steel left. But nope, we want to get a priority splitter. There we go. Now we can make it so that this priority goes on the bottom into the box. The extra comes out of the box. So this is a very big build, and oh no, no, we didn't want that. That's what we want. Alright, now this is a very big build, as I was saying. You know what? I think, yeah, we'll do it this way. I gotta figure out how I want to produce this. I'm honestly thinking I get rid of this, bring it onto the floor, and then run it through things. So, our iron steel is going to come through here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe. Let's find out. Help if I was turning it the right way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. And then this is going to be giving me nails. Nope, not nails. Steel gears. And I'm going to copy that and paste it into all the rest. Alright. Now we got to find a way into our system. And actually, we've got to see if our system has room for one more thing. It does not. So it's time for a new box. That's going to go to there. Throw one of these in here. Is that right? That is right. Okay, cool. And then we will send this in. Alright, there we go. There's our steel coming in there. Steel gears will go in there. It's going to take a while before we get to the steel gears, but it's something for a start. Now, we know we have 7.4 extra coming off there, and I did not put in the priority splitter here. So, we're going to do that. Take that out. Take that out. Now, I do have an issue as far as space goes with this. We'll put that there. This space can't be used by anything else, so we'll throw the priority, or the filter in there. We will continue everything on this level. Because we need it all to, well, we don't need it to go that way, but you know what? We will not, because we don't need it to go that high on anything. But by doing that, we run out of space. Alright, we're gonna do this way. We're gonna put the priority splitter there. I'm gonna spin it. Good one on the bottom. Bad one on the, well, not bad one, but useless one on the top. We can now put this and keep this on this level though. We're gonna put, that's not where that belongs. And I'm going to run, that's not, nope, nope, come on. There we go. Now I'm gotta see how I want to connect it up with the steel that's, the iron that's there. Or how I want to do iron. Maybe what I'll do is just like that. So, our overfill iron will come out this way. It will go that way. Now, we still don't have a way out for half of this stuff, so We will get there, though. Just nails. Alright, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. I am going to fill that space, some of that space in. I could probably fill in a good bit with beams, huh? Oh, that's using nails too. No, I tried. Save a little bit of the nails. I know we're literally in the process of making stuff with nails. But, you know, if we can avoid it, we'll try and save some. Alright. We will bring this up. There we go. We are going to get this down to the ground. Yep. I will remember that correctly one of these days. Alright, now's where it gets a little tricky. I'm gonna run this all the way to there. Now where's our nail line? I believe it's this one next to the glass. Let me just double check it. I can't see. Well, one. Nails, yes. So, it's this one right here next to the glass line. To get that over there, what we're gonna do is we're gonna launch it on a conveyor. So we're gonna line it up with that. So we're gonna use the catapult to get over there. So hopefully that these nails will go over into where they need to be. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and grab some more iron so that way I can put it into the smelter and we can get the regular smelter and get that going too. Alright, now, as we can see, amount of steel is going pretty well. What are we lacking on? It's not the coke powder. It's not the iron. It's just the speed. Not enough space for where? For the iron. Okay. So that's our biggest holdup right now, is getting the iron off of here. And for the time being, just to kind of smooth it out a little bit, we do need to get a little bit of iron going. Cleared out. So we will do this and just get a good chunk of that iron out. We can do the same here. And not so much here. But I can just collect quite a bit out of here. Oh, and you know what? None of this is going to go anywhere until we put something here. So, and we do have to consider the fact that there will be iron that comes out of here as well. Let me throw this into place here. Now how do I want to get into there, huh? Oh, that's well, that would be very simple. That can be very simple. If I get rid of that, replace it with this. Is it really backed up? Oh, I never set this. Haha. That would help. Alright. Now, back over here. We're gonna go ahead and throw these into place there. We cannot throw it into place there, but we can just simply do that. That's our steel. There we go. Now we need to get our iron back through. This is where things get a little tricky. I'm not going to have this go here. I will, however, have this go here. This go here. I am going to... do want a priority splitter. So we do need to get, let's see what we can do with that. So to get that priority splitter in, we want, priority merger, that's what we need. We want the stuff coming out of the machine to go through first, usually. But since we already have a place for the other outputs to go from the machine up ahead of it, we should be able to let this go through. This will continue through, burn off whatever's not used. And there is a bit of a backup now. That backup will go away in time. Alright, there we go. Now we know this is flowing. This is moving, that's all moving, that's all moving. That's all moving, so I can get rid of... Didn't I put one over here? Yes, I can get rid of this. And I think I can get rid of this one too. Now, we're producing steel. We're producing nails, which still aren't really going anywhere. But we got ourselves a full belt of nails between that one and this one. We are rocking. Which it shouldn't be a full belt of nails because we've got 2 here, 30 a minute. Oh, I guess it is. Yeah, 2 there, 2 there. So we got ourselves a full belt of 60 nails a minute between all of these. If these were running at full speed. This one's not. This one is, but it's running over. So maybe we add in a second. Let's do that. Because it made me realize we don't have enough coverage for here. As far as getting everything filled. So, we will take that, key that there, get rid of that, throw T there. And now this isn't enough for 2 to run, but it's enough more than 1 can handle. So, with that being the case, we can run it just like that. And if we end up with extra, because we do have extra coming back through here, remember? So that goes through first, and then everything else is going to come through here. We should be running at a pretty good clip here. Now we know this one is 22.4, that's where the 7.4 comes from for the extra, going through there. We're 7.6. This one, we're getting 11.2 coming back out, so there's very little that's actually going to be coming through here. It's a total of 3.8, with us doing 22.4. That brings us down to 18.2. No, 18.6 coming through. That's still less than that. So, we should never hold up on that. We are now, however, producing more than a full belt of iron going through this way. So, maybe we change things around a little bit. Maybe we switch this back to making iron. Splitting between iron bars and iron nails. That should hold us up for a little while, because we do not want this to stop. This needs to keep going at all times. And honestly, I don't think that we need something this big. So, we're going to change this a little bit. We're going to put not one of these in, because I can't get them. We will put one of those in. Just hang with me a second. Alright, there we go. Alright, finally. Now, we got steel, which also means one of the things we needed to unlock in this workbench. It is not our inventory, we can upgrade that, but our building tool. We can upgrade our building tool, and now we're maxed out on our building tool. Our inventory, we need 50 linen. Let's go do that while we're got the table out there. I'd say we got that. Inventory, hold to craft. There we go. Level 3 is 120 wooden pulleys. Well, we're making them here. Why not? Let's grab, you know what? We don't need that many. We'll grab one of these. Fill that up. Oh man, look at all those Jupiters built. Maybe I ought to start selling those automatically. 45 gold? We could do that for sure. Let me grab one of these. And let me grab some nails. We need them anyway, so let's go ahead and submit that. 45 silver, bringing us back up a little bit. How's our box looking? Okay, it's starting to thin out. We are expecting, it does not surprise me, but we should expect to lose a little bit of money here. And look at that, we already got something going through, and I'm wondering why it's not full. Oh, you know what? That was from when we, split it up. So we're gonna put 100, well, I guess we're gonna put 20 into each. Just to get a little bit going. So, now that this is all, ooh, that's a good amount of coke powder. I'm gonna hold on to that. Good way to kickstart some things if we need to. But, now we have 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 producing at 3.8 a minute, so that's obviously, we're making 38 a minute of steel. You can duplicate this entire thing and end up with just over, I'd say, a belt and a quarter of steel is what you would end up with. And if you use a quarter of that belt to make steel bearings, or steel gears, I mean, then you will be set. So, again, this was inspired by GrimSimLabs. You need to check out his channel, check out some of his videos as it comes to Alchemy Factory. But his struggle to find a full belt of steel is what led me to this. And, you know, personally, I think this is a pretty good compromise. It's not a full belt of steel, and there is a point later on where we want a full belt of steel. But this is pretty close to it. We are hanging up a little bit here because we've got just too much, which hangs up everything, which it's fine. You know, it's not producing it as best it can, but you know, as long as this doesn't back up, that's where the problem lies. If this backs up, we're in trouble. As long as that's still moving, everything should move eventually. So, with all that being said, now that we're selling steel gears, we've got nails figured out. We got steel going. Our money's looking good. We can add these 2 Jupiters back on there. Make even more money. And why not? We'll grab that one as well. There we go. So, with all that being said, leave a like, subscribe if you're enjoying. Leave a comment if you got any questions or any tips on how I can make this possibly better. Hopefully we'll see you back for the next time. So, until then, we'll see you.